1. So this couple come in for brunch, maybe in their late 50s, early 60s. Everything was normal in the beginning. Everything was running smoothly. They're actually not bad, not overly friendly, but nice enough. They ordered beers. They got it. They ordered appetizers. A couple minutes later, I came back to update them their appetizer is working, and if they know what they want for their entree order as well. Lady said yes, but don't want to order it yet, as she doesn't want it to come out when they're still eating their app. I said no worries, it won't be out right away, and we'll make sure to time it so it comes out when they're done. She gave it to me with doubts, but it did, and she even said, "Oh wow, perfect timing." I made sure to check every time I bring something to the table, if not more. Appetizer, a couple bites, everything good? Great. Beer though, second round. She wants to try something not so common on draft, but decides to play it safe and order Blue Moon. I bring her her Blue Moon and felt a little nice, so got her a tasting of the special beer. She went, "Aw, you didn't have to. You're so sweet." Entree came in. A couple bites later, I check. Everything good? Everything tastes great? Okay, great. I got a table seated diagonal to them, so I started taking that order. She waves me down. I signal her 1 second. I went there right after. She wants hot sauce. So I got her hot sauce and ask again, "How's everything so far?" Everything is good. Everything tastes great. Drinks are always refilled on time. Got a compliment on how attentive I am. They ask for their check. And that's when it all went downhill. She started talking to me about her food, how there's no flavor there. She's a chef, and her food is not well seasoned, blah blah blah. I agreed and apologized, went and got their check printed. She gave me her card. I run it and gave it back. She complained why she had to pay for her food. By the way, it's more than half eaten. There might be some hot sauce left, but it's mostly gone. And after all the checking I did, she could have given me the chance to fix it, but no, because everything tastes good. But she wants it off her bill. So she got mad and disappointed because I didn't take it off. She says she's from here and would never recommend this place. And with a big fat "we will never come back" on her check, with a little less than 10% tip. I really hate people sometimes. 2. For some backstory, I'm a college student and this would be my first serving job. I picked up this job last month because I've been pretty desperate for cash and doing something with my day. So far I loved serving, but I hated the work culture and vibe from my coworkers that led me to quit. Everything had been so shitty behind the scenes that I'm surprised to say that customers were actually the favorite part of my day, and bringing their food and checking on them were the only times I could clear up my tears from falling right then and there. Anyway, I was hired on the spot in an extremely short-staffed, small, family-owned restaurant. Over the short span, I got to talk to some of the back-of-house members, and I learned more of them would be quitting, which has been making me question what direction the place is going, having already a skeleton crew. I noticed that the entire time I've been working, I haven't seen another server or hire other than the other server who has been there for a long time. This is just one detail, but I probably didn't think of how close-knit the restaurant is behind the scenes. I kept sensing that the one other server is fooling with the manager by their body language around each other, and they're always the last to go home, presumably together, after we're done closing. I know she hated me, and that's part of why I quit, because just being around her felt like drowning in negativity. And she was constantly snappy, and had an attitude to me and the manager, who said nothing about it. The manager left her to train me for about 2 or 3 days when I first started, and I assume she got sick of me shadowing her, so I ended up not asking questions anymore because she would just look at me like what I asked was stupid, and it kind of offended me like every time. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next half of the time, and I've tried ignoring all of her person and energy. But then I didn't know how to stand when she's 3 feet from me. I know that she must have been with the restaurant for years, and she has her way of doing everything, and I didn't think I was the best person to interrupt that. And she doesn't want to guide me anyway. It just accumulates to a routine every time she works the same shifts as me. I literally only felt this way when she's there, like the figurative rain cloud over her head just starts to loom over me too, no matter how nice or polite I try to be with my space. Overall, I just felt so unwanted that I ended up showing up late today from being interviewed at another place. After 1 hour in, I just took my bag and told my manager that I quit. I couldn't even give a good reason why without bursting in tears, but I'm sure he knows why. From the look on his face making the mental connections that I'm only teary-eyed and distant when she's working with me, which includes when she talks down on me with an earshot. Sorry this is a huge ramble, but now I'm just trying to find a better place to work at. 3. It's a Saturday night at my 3-story bar and restaurant megaplex, or purgatory as I call it. I get sat with 2 ladies towards the end of my shift. At 11 p.m. on weekends, we switched to a limited late-night menu. So it was 10:55, and I informed the ladies if they wanted anything off the regular full menu, they needed to order soon before the kitchen started to clean the grills. They didn't know what they wanted to drink, but said they liked tequila and pineapple. I suggested a pineapple margarita, which they said yes to, and ordered. Then went on to debate whether they wanted 1 or 2 orders of a shrimp appetizer we sell because one of the ladies was going to get another entree that was also seafood. They went back and forth for a minute asking me the portion size, if it was good, etc. I told them it depended on how hungry they were considering the other lady was planning on also ordering wings. After 5 minutes they settled on 1 order of the shrimp. I was slightly confused during their personal debate because they were inaudible mumbling to each other, but I didn't care because I thought they had sorted it out. I confirmed not once, but twice on the fact that they were only ordering 1 shrimp appetizer because I was initially confused. All their food comes out, and eventually the other lady got her wings. This is on the late-night menu, so she still had time to decide on her wing flavor without being rushed. I check on them periodically, but am busy with other tables as well. They said they loved their food, etc., etc. Never once vocalized a problem to me. I asked if they needed boxes. They said yes, so I brought them their boxes and split their check up as they asked. I come back to the table to grab their payments, and this is where it went south. The lady with the wings says the shrimp appetizer needed to be taken off her bill, and I replied with, "Oh, did she want to pay for it instead?" And she said, "Well, I didn't eat any of the shrimp because I thought the appetizer was hers, and she didn't eat any of it because she thought it was mine." I was like, what the hell is she even talking about right now? I replied with, "So, when I was taking your order, you were debating on ordering 2, but then told me 1 shrimp appetizer, which I repeated back to you twice to confirm, right?" To which she agreed that I repeated the order back to her, but she still didn't want to pay for it, because it was now cold, and she didn't eat any of it. At this point, I'm over the bullshit. I say back, unfortunately, because I repeated back the order to you 2 times, and there was nothing wrong with the shrimp, you will have to pay for it. It sounds like a miscommunication between the 2 of you. She didn't like that at all. She kept going on and on, trying to place blame on me, saying that I was the one who got confused about the shrimp. I then say, "Let me go grab my manager." They scoff and say, "Yeah, you better, because they aren't going to make us pay for something we didn't eat." We have a head server that has a manager code for when our managers aren't present, due to us having 2 other floors that are just bars that are very busy during the weekends. So I grab her, tell her everything, and she's obviously on my side, as I knew she would be, because people try to pull the whole "I don't think this and that" and don't want to pay for it, when there's nothing wrong with it all the time. She talks to the ladies and explains exactly what I told them, and again states to them that I'm not a mind reader and did exactly what they asked me to do, which was bring them their damn shrimp. They try to argue with her, she's not having it, and says, "You're paying for it, end of story." To their dismay, they pay, don't tip. I don't care because I was tired from working since 9 a.m. All I have to say is, how could you be sitting at a table with only one other person for an hour and not notice the other person wasn't eating the appetizer you both were debating on ordering not one but two of? Additionally, if you wanted to eat some of it, literally just ask the person for some of it. Basically use your big adult words and communicate. 4. So, where I work, I flip between all positions, but this story takes place from when I was a host one night. The restaurant I work at is a steakhouse on the beach, like literally on the beach. At every single table you can see the ocean and stuff, well, except for one. Let me paint a picture. It's 8:45 at night. We've been fully booked and tables aren't moving, so reservations are waiting. A table opens up in the front, and I go up to the foretop and say the table is ready. Only the man follows, and at the table he asks, "Do you have anything in the back?" Which is common because it has a good view, and I replied, "I'm sorry, no." He asks if they wanted to wait, how long would it be, and I replied, "For a table in the back, it would be at least a 45-minute wait, but I cannot promise it will be 45 minutes. It would most likely be longer." And he goes to consult his wife, and I'm at the host stand, which the table is close to. The wife comes up to me and says, "You know what, I'm pissed. I'm a local here, and I brought friends and raved about the view, and I couldn't even get one. These tables should be for walk-ins." "I'm sorry, ma'am, we only take walk-ins at the bar. I can't predict when tables get up." To which was replied with, "We texted a week in advance, and can't even get a good table. You can always request an ocean view, but it's not always promised. You can't complain," and she cut me off at complain, which I was going to finish with, "You can't complain about people not getting up." Said professionally, if I had the chance. And she's yelling about, "You know, I can complain about whatever I want. You don't get to tell me what I get to say." I didn't mean you can't complain. I was cut off again with, "You just said I can't," and then proceeds to ask where the manager was. I can do you one better. The man right there is the owner, my dad. "I don't care if he's your dad," and sits down. Really, usually when you ask for a manager, you want to talk to them. Both of these chefs are the owners. Then, as I was bussing the table next to them, they loudly said how disrespectful I was. After she did all that, I go to the female owner and explained what happened, and she was fuming, and went up to the table and goes, "So I heard you were rude to my host." "I wasn't rude, I was stern, and I had an attitude." If it's really over a table with a view, I checked and you never requested one, so we wouldn't know to try and get you a view. Anyway, I go along bussing tables, running food, etc. At the end of their meal, they go to the female chef and owner and said she was only stern, and when I gave her attitude, she gave it back because she's a school teacher and she knows how girls can get. Literally shut up. 5. I haven't worked in a restaurant in over a decade, but I was just thinking of the story of the worst tip ever, so I'm going to share it with you all. I was pretty lucky for the most part. I started working as a busser and expediter at an Irish pub when I was 15. That place is still going strong and has some of the best managers and customers I've ever had in any industry. When I turned 18, however, the legal age to serve alcohol in that state, they didn't immediately have an opening for me on the waitstaff, so I took a second job at a gigantic burger chain for 3 months until there were shifts for me to pick up at my first place. Most of my terrible serving experiences were there. This particular story stars an older couple who didn't give me any signs of what they were up to until it was too late. A man and a woman in their late 70s or early 80s. They were very sweet, not at all fussy. Didn't need 12 Diet Coke refills, nothing like that. As they were finishing their meal and I check in with them, the woman asked me for some more iced tea. I came back with the pitcher and her husband was in the bathroom, and as I filled her tea glass, she asked me about the necklace I was wearing. A little Celtic cross circle design. I had already left the church, but I did still like the necklace, and people at the Irish pub loved it.
Is that a Christian thing?
Yes, it's a Celtic cross, Irish Catholic.
Oh, very interesting. My husband is a Baptist minister.
Oh, lovely. Can I get you all anything else today? Bring the check back, take their card, run it, drop it off, go check on 8 other tables. Didn't have time to grab the signed copy before they left. I am taking an order at another table when they tap me on the shoulder on their way out. The husband tells me they left a tip on the table. Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful evening. His wife follows that up with,
Don't worry, honey, it's not too late. You can still get into heaven.
Uh-oh. These motherfuckers wrote on table on the tip slip and left me their church's business card. I did actually run out to the parking lot to try to find them, but they were long gone. Stopped wearing the necklace right then and there. Well, if my brand of Christianity wasn't Christian enough to get me in their graces, it's over for everyone else. At the same time, a part of what made me disillusioned with Catholicism was being taught in catechism that the Baptists were also going to hell for not being the right brand of Christian. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, episode 183. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. If you have a story yourself you'd like to share, please do send it along to kingofthecities@gmail.com. That's kingofthecities@gmail.com. You can find that in the description of this video. It's also on screen right now. And before you go, if you could please hit the like button and share the video with a friend or family member. Let's see, no special shout-outs today. You can send those along to that email address as well. All correspondence goes there. As well as there's a bunch of other links in the description for you to take a look at. Right now, let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is there anything you find, especially the older you get, that other people love to do that you just have no interest in? It's like the normal thing, it's considered the societally acceptable thing, that everybody does these, and you just don't care. Like, personally speaking, I love watching films. I've got no interest in watching them in the cinema. I've done it. I much prefer the experience of sitting at home, on the sofa, can pause it when I want, make my own snacks, have my headphones on, have the volume cranked up as loud or as low as I want, and I can keep as cool as I want with the fans and everything. I've never been to the local McDonald's place. It's a popular destination. I have nothing personal against the company. I've just never been, and I have no desire to go. Live music, I don't see the appeal of it. I like music when it's to pick me up, to cheer up my mood. It's not something I listen to by appointment. So I'll put it on at home when I'm in the mood for it. Or sports. I've never been into sports. There isn't one sport I like. Yet, as a man, especially a man living in Scotland, I am expected to like football or soccer for our American friends. I really don't like it. I don't like the game. I don't like the culture that goes with it. It's mind-numbingly boring to me. I don't object to other people liking it. It's just not for me. It does not compute in my brain. I'd rather watch an episode of Star Trek or sit down and read a comic book because, yeah, I still read comic books. It's something I find comforting. I enjoy it. Maybe I'm just old and grumpy. In fact, I am old and grumpy, but, you know, that's how it works. So, let me know what you think. other things out there that you just don't click with, that everybody you know, everybody around you really seems to enjoy. And they just don't really appeal to you, whatever they may be. Let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.